What's good? It's your boy Fanon. All right. I'm going to talk about the next major pay-per-view coming up in Las Vegas on January 19th. Adrien Broner versus Manny Pacquiao, Pac-Man. And Kevin Cunningham, who's the trainer for Broner, says that he thinks that Manny Pacquiao will send Adrien Broner will send Pacquiao into retirement. And I'm going to tell you, man, if he does that, I'm thinking about, man, whether or not that would be the biggest upset outside of Nonito Donaire's win over, what is his name? Ryan Burnett, which was more of like a freak win. I think it would be a bigger upset than that. I don't know if there's a bigger upset that would have happened in the last several years in boxing if Manny Pacquiao loses to Adrien Broner. So I'm going to talk about that, tell you what he said, and then, give you my opinion on whether or not Adrien Broner can actually pull that off. But before I do that, I want to thank you very much for tuning into the video. If you're a subscriber, thank you for subscribing. If you're not subscribed, please hit the bell icon. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified when we do more videos and when we do the live stream in the morning. And thank you to everybody that supports the channel. Much, much appreciated. So, Adrien Broner, man, this dude has had one of the most up and down careers that I can think of. Always up though, as far as the amount of attention that he gets. He's steadily been one of the most popular, one of the more notable fighters in boxing since he bust onto the scene back several years ago. I think I started paying attention to him when he beat Antonio DeMarco, maybe a little bit before that. He's had his ups and downs, man. But the one thing about Manny Pacquiao is that Manny Pacquiao always is willing to take the tough fights. He's always willing to take a fight that people don't think he can win, right? And even in fights that he's fought where he was supposed to win and he had issues, he always comes back and shows himself well. Even at the end of the Marcus Maidana fight, he put the pressure on Mikey Garcia towards the end of their fight. Sean Porter, of course, Sean Porter was winning their fight, but then he knocked down Sean Porter in the 12th round. And I don't think I've seen Sean Porter get decked by anybody other than Manny Pacquiao. So even though Adrien Broner has never really, reached the level of potential that people never reached the potential that a lot of people thought he had when he was younger and when he was first coming onto the scene, he shows something in his character inside the ring and outside the ring in his willingness to take the fight that there's not a lot of fighters that are willing to do, man. And I could name them, right? Anthony Joshua is not gonna if Anthony Joshua, Canelo Alvarez, Keith Thurman, I can go on and on with guys that I could say, even Sean Porter with this whole Errol Spence Jr. thing going on. There's not very many people that I can say in boxing have showed the willingness to take on tough competition time and time again that Adrien Broner has. And obviously the same thing, in my opinion, holds true for Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao's, is somebody that I believe kind of like Canelo Alvarez, with the exception. I know I mentioned Canelo Alvarez earlier, but the only really issue that I have with Canelo Alvarez is what's going on with the Charlos, right? Other than that, Canelo Alvarez gets in the ring with cats, man. So if I think that I stated Canelo Alvarez, but I got to do a little bit of a amendment on that. But Manny Pacquiao's willing to throw down too. I even believe that Manny Pacquiao, when he said that he wanted to fight the top welterweights, now that he's associated with the PBC, I believe him. So man, those two guys, man, really in a lot of ways, man, show what's right in boxing. Adrien Broner, when he was acting a fool and, going to the bathroom in public or whatever, on camera in public, whatever he was doing, all this craziness that he was doing, I would have never believed. I would have had a hard time believing that I could give this dude this much praise But I'm giving him the praise that he deserves. So, but as far as this fight goes, okay, I think that if Adrien Broner is able to pull this off, man, this will absolutely skyrocket this dude's career. And it is his biggest fight, and he does have a chance to win. Like Adrien Broner, but the chance for Adrien Broner to win against Manny Pacquiao really does revolve around whether or not Manny Pacquiao is past his sell-by date. If this was a fight that took place, 5 years ago, I wouldn't give Adrien Broner a snowball's chance in hell to beat Manny Pacquiao. And honestly, man, I'm heavily favoring Manny Pacquiao in this fight, but I do believe that the fight's going to go to the distance. But if Adrien Broner is able to really lead with a good, strong, straight right hand, and he's able to time Manny Pacquiao jumping in, because just like what Kevin Cunningham said, and let me go real quickly over what Kevin Cunningham says, man. He says, I think he's having been in a better camp than the last. He's added a new strength and conditioning coach, and everything is working out perfect. The camp is going extremely well. AB's looking fast and explosive. I have no complaints. Adrian's got everything. He's a real throwback fighter. He's got speed. He's got power. He's got quickness. He's got footwork. He can punch and he can bang and he can box. He's got the skills. He can be slick when he wants to. So he's the total package. We have an idea of the way the fight is going to go. We've studied tons of Pacquiao's footage, and he's pretty much fights the same every fight. Manny's a rhythm fighter, so it's all about getting in his rhythm. He pretty much does his thing, but outside of that, never really seen him make too many adjustments. He's pretty much the same guy. So, I mean, obviously, if you're going to look at the way that Manny Pacquiao, that Adrien Broner is going to have to fight Manny Pacquiao, he's got to go to the playbook, and the playbook was set out by Juan Manuel Marquez. Juan Manuel Marquez waited. He's very patient. He's a very good counterpuncher. Is timing Manny Pacquiao, and Manny Pacquiao gets on his toes and he's hopping in and he's hopping out, timing him, discouraging him, right? And just, trying to win rounds by timing him and letting it be a situation where Manny Pacquiao never gets a chance to start running downhill on you, Now, the Jeff Horn fight, Jeff Horn's coach talked about trying to do the same thing, looking at the Juan Manuel Marquez fight, and the way that he did it was he was just kind of awkward, throwing off Manny Pacquiao's timing again, but with a lot more mauling, being a lot more physical with Manny Pacquiao. And that's how he caused Manny Pacquiao a lot of problems, just getting close to him, mauling him, muscling him. I don't necessarily know that, on top of obviously the straight right hand that people use on Manny Pacquiao. Floyd Mayweather Jr. also beat Manny Pacquiao. You can see Manny Pacquiao. I remember watching that Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather Jr. fight just kept thinking, man, Floyd is really looking for that straight right hand. And if a couple of those straight right hands had landed, he would have really put some hurt on Manny Pacquiao. But other than that, man, he just kept moving away from Manny Pacquiao's left hand, making Manny Pacquiao beat you with his right hand, timing him, catching him on the way in, and just trying to get to the point where you can beat Manny Pacquiao on points. And, other than, the one real, I guess, Manny Pacquiao obviously had been knocked out early in his career, but that's how, Eric Morales got him in the first fight, in the fight that he won, that Eric Morales beat him in. So those are the things that I think that Adrien Broner would be looking at doing. Of course, we know what the book is on Adrien Broner, just being very, very busy. But I wouldn't say necessarily that's how Mikey Garcia beat him. Mikey Garcia beat him the way Mikey Garcia beats most people, man. He just has such nice timing. When that front foot comes down, when the other fighter's front foot comes down, that jab comes out. And when you're stepping in, he's catching you, he's timing you when he's timing your front foot with his jab, and then timing you with his right hand, and then his left hook, and rinse and repeat. I'm not necessarily thinking that that Manny Pacquiao is going to be doing that fight in that style. So anyway, all in all, I'm looking forward to the fight. I definitely I'm going to buy the pay-per-view. I'm not as excited about this pay-per-view as I was for the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight or the pay-per-view that's coming up after that with after this fight, which is Errol Spence Jr. Mikey Garcia. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to support AB. I'm going to support Manny Pacquiao in this card, and I'm looking forward to it. But man, like I said in the beginning of this, I heavily favor Manny Pacquiao in this fight. But if Adrien Broner is able to do it, man, it might be the biggest upset of the last several years. And I'm having a hard time thinking about what would be a bigger upset than that on a major stage, right? On a major stage, because in the world we're in boxing right now. Again, there's not a lot of people who are taking fights and making fights where they got a chance to lose. You can call it the Floyd Mayweather Jr. syndrome or what have you. Pretty much the only guy that I'm seeing doing that type of stuff on a consistent basis is Adrien Broner and Deontay Wilder. Obviously, Deontay Wilder's last 2 fights, he fought guys that had legitimate chances to win, right? And Deontay Wilder looks like he wants to do it 3 times in a row with Tyson Fury. So, anyway, my hat's off to these guys, and we'll see what's happening with that. I'm out. Peace.